Vikinandam, again, thank you for coming back and for tuning in. So I wanted to make this video fresh off the back of Swamiji's Satsang, which has recently concluded, where he was sharing that we should not, so the essence of the Satsang, the essence of the sharing was that we should not take life for granted. So this struck a very strong chord in me, especially because recently, in the past few, I can say, I think it's been a couple of weeks now, I've been helping out someone that's been suffering with their health. So actually, it's not, there's actually a few things that have cropped up, something a bit closer to home. So in my Purvashram family, my grandpa on my dad's side, he's been struggling with his health, and there have been a few health scares where he's been hospitalized, and seeing the effect on my immediate family and how they were reacting to this. That in itself made me stop and contemplate on, I mean, here as a sannyasi, obviously, we're always remembering that we are not the body, that we are not the thoughts, the emotions, that we are the imperishable. But it just, it served as a reminder of how fragile this life and this body actually is. And I've also been helping someone recently with third eye healing and just nithya healing, someone who's suffering from cancer, and they're quite young in age, so it's come as a complete shock to them and their family, and seeing what they're going through and being there with them every day for a small portion of time, and seeing the fluctuations of hope and then hopelessness, and the whole roller coaster of things that follows when someone is going through something like that, being a witness to that and being a part of that. It really struck me today when Swamiji was sharing about the fragility of life, how fragile life is, and how we shouldn't take things for granted. And this is so true. There's so many things that I realized when Swamiji was speaking that I had taken for granted, even myself living here. So we haven't actually had a live satsang with Swamiji for quite some time, and there's periods of time where we'll have live satsang, Swamiji's there every day, we're able to sit there in his physical presence and enjoy him, even though we're not necessarily engaging with him or speaking with him. It's just even sitting in that space of Upanishad where there's complete silence, just that in itself is a blessing, and that in itself is enough to appreciate what we have in having Swamiji here in the form, and not just having him here in the form, but us being here to actually enjoy him. And one of the things that as a seeker will get you is your mind. Like I was saying, the fluctuations of the mind, the ups and downs of the, the hormones which trigger mood swings, and the how you perceive situations and, react to them. That can often affect how you feel towards the master. I know for myself, I was struggling with, and I still kind of am, I am a little blind spot. Actually, I think it's quite a big blind spot that I'm kind of chewing on at the moment, is being responsible, taking up responsibility completely, and being a strength for Swamiji without having to sacrifice me being able to enjoy him. So there's kind of a feeling of, if I'm taking up responsibility, usually it means that I'm away from Swamiji's physical presence. Even though I'm here somewhere, it just means that because I'm taking up responsibility to do Swamiji's work, I don't get to actually interact and see him, which I know is not true. There's some blind spot there which I have to unravel, but even this, I could see that I tend to take Swamiji for granted because of these lower cognitions, and not having that that determination to see. I've been chewing on this for a while, but I have the ability and the determination to break this blind spot. If I'm really persistent with it, I can break it. It means there's something in me that's cherishing this lower cognition still. You know, when you suffer enough, you will find a way to break out of something. So in this same way, I feel that actually I'll make a sankalpa. This is what I'll do. Today's sankalpa, today's iron will and resolution is to break out of this blind spot where I'm associating responsibilism and taking up responsibility as equating to being away from Swamiji. So this is one way that I could see that I'm taking Swamiji for granted, in not really appreciating and celebrating the fact that I'm here, that of how many billions of people that I've been given a higher calling. Not only have I been given a higher calling, I've had the courage to pursue it. Not only have I had the courage to pursue it, but I found a living, enlightened master that is going to guide me. All of these things, if you look at them, they're huge and they're worthy of celebration. In the same way, I'm sharing my experience. Whatever your experience is, wherever you are in your life, whatever you have, take this moment, take every moment, as a matter of fact, to really appreciate what it is that you have, what it is that you've achieved, and what it is that you're aspiring for. And don't take anything for granted. Understand how precious this life is. If you're a seeker, understand how precious it is that you have a consciousness which is seeking its source. Don't take that for granted. Don't brush it off aside and just assume that, hey, I'm young, you know, I have the next 10 years to settle down, and then I'll get into my seeking, and then I'll find out what life is about. You're missing out. You're missing out on a golden opportunity, and you don't know what lies for you around the corner. You might have one idea for yourself. Life might have other plans for you. You don't know. In the same way, Swamiji was saying not to take inner awakening for granted, because it's here every month. Don't just put a pin in it and assume that, yeah, in 5 months' time or whenever I'm ready, I'll go and I'll take the leap. Swamiji has been sharing that for a long time there will be acharyas, so teachers that he's training, that will take up doing these courses in his stead. So while you have the opportunity, while he's, you know, young and alive and making himself available, I urge you all to come in and take the leap, and, you know, definitely come here. If you're a seeker, pursue it. Don't brush it off. It's a rare thing to actually have that kind of a calling. If you want to come to inner awakening, don't procrastinate. Just jump right in. The sooner you do it, the better for you. And I speak from experience. I don't know what would have happened, or if I hadn't have taken the jump when I did, and I'm so glad that I did it at the point of time that I did. So going back to what I said about appreciating what you have right now in this very moment, really look in and see and be grateful for all that you have, that all that life has given you, your health, whatever state that might be in, whatever you have. Understand that at some point in time you would have been asking for this, you would have wanted this, you would have aspired for this. So don't forget that as your aspirations mature and as your desires mature, it's a natural thing. Not to forget that that you in fact were working towards what you have right now. If you look back, there would have been some point where you decided that you wanted to have what you have now. And what often happens is that as we work towards achieving what it is that we want, like I said, our aspirations mature, our desires mature, so then we start wanting the next thing. And then instead of relishing the sweetness and enjoying what life is giving us and seeing how we're manifesting what we want, we're already off thinking for the next thing, which is great. Aspire, keep aspiring, keep reaching for higher. Nothing wrong with that. but don't forget to taste the sweetness. And this is one thing that I'm definitely doing for myself also. This has inspired me so much that I will appreciate having Swamiji around. And see, here in this Adinam, there's always some kind of a celebration. There's always moments to enjoy. There's always everything to enjoy. And it can be easy to get bogged down in your in the heaviness of your thinking and whatever else is there. So I hope you can make this sankalpa with me, if you're watching this, to appreciate life, to understand how fragile it is, that we won't be here forever, that this isn't permanent, that we have this space of immortality, this imperishable core, which we can relax into again and again and again. And to find that core and to abide in it as much as possible and just enjoy life and allow it to express and really make the most of it. So I'll share the link. Actually, I don't know if I can. If the link is there for today's satsang, I'll certainly share it for you in this video. It might not be there just yet, but I'll come back in a few days, and if it's not available, I'll amend or add the link in the description for you guys to follow up and have a look if you've missed it today. And I'll also, as usual, leave the link for Inner Awakening for you guys to register and try and make it here as soon as possible. Alright, thank you so much. Nithyanandan.